What's up, y'all? My name is Foster. I'm 25 years old, and this is my story. I grew up in Rose Park, Salt Lake City. I was anywhere from homeschooled to high school to no school. I learned from an early age that I could teach myself what I wanted to learn because mom was too busy teaching the other kids, so she'd just hand me a book and she would tell me she'd tell me to read it. I knew that no matter what I wanted to do, I wanted to make music. Ever since my little brother and I got our first computer, we would go to town with that thing. We found flstudio, whenever I was about 14 years old. My dad was always up with the times, so he eventually introduced us to EDM and stuff, and it was really dope. And we found Skrillex, and that's whenever Hunter and I started to get into hip hop. What's up, Hunter? And we really got into a point where we would do our thing with Ableton, and we started to learn about it and get into the software. It was super awesome. We started to love, especially EDM. We made EDM for like 4 or 5 years. Getting into that hella production stuff, just kind of doing our thing. Just going crazy. I became obsessed with the idea that I could make my own music, that I could listen to, and no matter what it was, it was my music. And I tried EDM for a while, like I said earlier, and, it didn't really speak to me as much as hip hop did and rap. Something about the way that I grew up and learning from what I learned and focusing on what I focused on to overcome, large obstacles, and gave me some sort of resonance with the hip hop world. Hip hop is for everyone. But deep down, I know that hip hop is definitely for kids that struggled. And I did struggle as a kid. My life has never been all that easy. I got terrible grades in high school because, I got the head in the clouds. I was always chasing after girls and trying to make films and stuff and just do, just some crazy things. I really did everything that I could to succeed in high school, but it just wasn't for me. School was always kind of an afterthought in my mind, and it really blew me away whenever I got out of high school, and I was like, damn, that was really not worth it. Anyway, the struggle is real. So I fought my parents so much that I actually moved out and got married to my girlfriend at the time. She was my high school sweetheart, and we moved out and got our own place, which was a hella struggle all on its own. It did not last between us, unfortunately, and now, we're on to much better things. She's doing her own thing, I'm doing my own thing. It's cool. So the journey didn't stop there for me, though. When I was 21, I actually lost my job, got a divorce, and lost everything that I had and had to move back into my parents' house. I was 21 years old, and I lost everything. I lost everything I had. I was making YouTube videos as Minty Mechanic, for a lot of you guys know, and it was wild how that turned out. So I had to move back in with my parents, which was super hard because at the time, we were not cool. We are cool now, but we were definitely growing into the people that we are today, and they did not want me there. So it was really tense. The environment was fucking hella tense. I couldn't get a job anywhere. I tried for weeks. They wanted me to get a job. It was for months and stuff, and it just didn't work out. So I joined the Air Force. And, this is where shit really got real for me, because when I joined the Air Force, I changed a lot. I became a totally different person. I became a lot more driven. I became a lot stronger. I became more focused. The military really does that shit to you too. I refocused up. I was a stoner for a long time and really kind of just sat around and didn't do a whole lot of anything, with a lot of the stoner vibe, playing video games and just kind of fucking off and not really doing anything. So I decided to clean up my act, but it wasn't the pot that I needed to clean up or really anything other than my laziness. I had always been so lazy as a kid. I was so lazy. It was really hard for me to look at life and go get it. The only thing I ever really did for myself was make that YouTube channel, and it really scared me whenever I started losing people, because I wanted to make music all along, but I really got into this stuff, doing the whole vape situation. That was really cool. For a while, because I got to meet a bunch of really cool people. What up, Travis? So I started focusing on my work. Eventually, I started working for the military for full-time orders, and that is way difficult because I was a reservist, and reservists don't ever get orders. The maximum amount of time that you can actually be on orders is for 3 years. You got to work for it. And so that's what I did. And the entire time that I've been on orders, which I'm still on, I've been grinding out tons of my music. I've written over 400 songs over the past 2 years or so. I've released about 85 of those songs on SoundCloud every month or so, just kind of putting out more music, kind of trying to catch a vibe, trying to get online and get my story out there. Right now, I'm actually working on my next album, The Commander. That's the name of the album because of a couple of different things that I'll explain whenever I release that sucker. But I finally got my music on Spotify and Apple music, which is super dope. With the help of my friends and my brother, Travis, Hunter, my girlfriend T, she's amazing. With my squad and my team, I'm really hoping that I can change the way that hip hop sees not just people like me, but people like us in the world, and really change the perspective of hip hop in general. Because I've got a really dope message, and I think that you guys are really gonna like it. Because as a kid growing up, kids are always gonna see their perspective, but I really think that they're gonna understand mine because it's not really far from where they are, and I understand where they come from because I've been on that struggle bus and I know exactly how they feel. As a kid like me, I really, I feel like that all the time. I'm always struggling, like I'm always doing my thing, and I'm always trying to be a G and straight up own my shit. And I totally get kids that are like that. A lot of people are less fortunate and don't really have the option, so they have to join the Air Force or the Army or the military or go to some crazy school out in the middle of nowhere, just doing their thing. So anyway, that's my story, up to date, and I appreciate y'all listening to my story and my madness. If you like that, please click that like button and hit that subscribe button, because I'm really doing my best here to give you guys the content that you deserve, and I hope you enjoyed my story. Thank you, and we'll see y'all later. Stay peaceful, y'all.